13, that is transport. One of the major problems we have faced in Goa is no proper bus stops. Though there are notified bus stops, but there is absolutely no bus stop as such, which means an infrastructure for a bus stop even for people to sit. I think this provision has to be made because people wait there and they don't know where they should sit or how they should spend their time there. Also, there is no proper signages of bus timings. It can be a private bus, it can be a KTC bus, but someone who comes over there should know 4:30 there's a bus, 4:40 there's a bus, or 4:50 there's a bus. Then they know when to arrive. Otherwise, you keep sitting indefinitely or coming there and wasting your time not knowing when the next bus is coming. You could even tender it out because there's no loss to the government by doing these things. The bus size. Honorable Speaker, आमची constituency, Aldonchi constituency, like आमची कितले बार्देशची constituency, गावान आसात, ते bus, व्हडले bus धाडटात ते आमगे रस्ते सामके ओशीर आसात. Bus गुणोना थिंगा. So they are very narrow roads. आमकां problem आसा. आतां पळय आमचे कारोणा, पांतीन, थिंग वचपा ते सायडीन. Bus भितर गेल्यार bus मागीर गुणावपा problem जाता तेंकां. So we need narrow buses, we need mini buses. And mini bus na tengode. I don't know why the shortage of KTC mini buses. Last time a big bus, EV bus was given. And when it went through this Britona stretch, that bus touched the roof, the tiles of some house. Those people stopped the bus, pulled the conductor and the driver out, beat them up, made them pay, and these two poor fellows, they said, we are not coming on this road again. Means no bus for us. You will get this report of this, which has happened. Next is breakdown and disruption of KTC bus service. Kenna breakdown zattena, amka bus, substitute bus, rokriyena. There is no spare bus for you to give. Sometimes there is an absence or sickness of the driver. What arrangements are you making to give us a replacement immediately? Nala, if there is no bus or there is no driver, there is no trip of the bus, and people wait there not knowing what is happening. I also believe that there should be a website which updates people of breakdowns of the bus or non-availability of a bus on a particular route. I'm not saying everybody can access the internet, but at least some people can give the information, collect the information and keep it out. On a daily basis, route-wise, timing-wise, you should specify. Other thing is about speed breakers. Two things is existing speed breakers are not painted properly. And I also request Honorable Minister and many my colleagues here would have traveled to other places across the world. When speed breakers are erected, they are humps mostly. And when you have them, there are warning signs much in advance. Ours are last minute, hardly 2 meters away, and that speed breaker is painted, which is hardly visible, whether in the day or in the night. My request is, paint them well in advance so that people can see when arriving that we are going to slow down, there's some speed breaker or a hump or a rumbler strips ahead. Otherwise, this last minute braking, the last minute pressing of brakes causes the other one from the rear to come and hit you, and many people have suffered accidents, including a death which took place in Goa, where because of the speed breaker, somebody went on the other side and hit a man who was going on the correct side, and the poor man died. Payment of fines. This is an issue where your portal is not working. Whenever there is, your website is there, an SMS comes that some fine is levied, and person goes to make the payment. It is some old fine which is now being notified. When you go to make that payment, it's not going into that link into the bank, your portal. If it is fresh, it goes. If it has passed the date, where the SMS has come today, it will not give you that payment link. And that is why you would have realized many people were queuing up in Panjim and trying to make payment because they were all being warned that if you don't, you will be prosecuted or whatever some messages were coming. And then there was a rush. And I had to ask, I asked your officers, why is this happening? And they said because that system, that link is not opening and there's a technical problem. There's another thing. I had an issue of a challan being issued to a gentleman of 13,500. It's a challan picked up on a CCTV camera. It only shows somebody going but doesn't say anything. There's no time, there's no date. And there was a list of 5 or 6 offences said against him, each one being contradictory to the other. First, if he did not stop, you don't know he has a license or does not have a license. If he did not stop, you don't know whether it's a minor, underage or person who is not authorized to have a license is driving. But all these things were put, including no pollution, God knows what was put, and the total was put 13,500. So when I asked one of your officers, how can you issue a challan like this when you don't know, each one contradict the other, the answer given to me was, let him come, we will now check his documents, and if he has not paid the pollution, we will charge him for that, and others we will let him out. This is not the way. You don't first slap a fine, you don't bring a man into the lockup and say, okay, now you show ABCD, and then we will release you. It can't be that. If he is being booked, he must be booked specifically for A or B or C offense, or A, B and C, whatever. But it can't be like this, I will search and find, and I will do a fishing inquiry and find out and bring you first and lock you up or threaten you and finally have you out. There's another matter which I think is of very serious concern, is of publishing data of defaulters of traffic fines on the website. This is, according to me, an invasion of the privacy of an individual. What are traffic fines compared to these bank loans which multinationals and big corporates are taking and ruining banks and finishing up these financial institutions? You need to publish those. These 500 rupees fine, 1,000 rupees fines you are putting on the website and keeping it. So one is the privacy of an individual. Second is, I ask this simple question. What is the law relating to fines? The law is very simple. You need to file that complaint in the court within 6 months if it is only fine. This is under the Criminal Procedure Code. If it is fine, your case has to be filed within 6 months. If you don't file within 6 months, you file even 1 day after 6 months, I can stand up and say your case is time barred and have it dismissed. If your case, your proceedings itself lapse after 6 months, how can you keep that on the website showing that you are still a defaulter? It's your fault for not prosecuting. It's your fault for not taking to court. I think that you have to work out on a system, because and those are the challans which cannot be paid after the time. I hope you are understanding what I am saying. After the 6 months, it's not payable. So therefore, the system is not allowing you to pay. Now, about speed limits. There are a lot of accidents taking place across Goa. Various reasons, I will dwell on them part by part. But one of these, according to me, is the increased speed limit which was done by the central government in 2018. The central government issued a notification specifying speed limits 6th April 2018, putting on expressway for motor vehicles used for carriage of passengers comprising not more than 8 seats in addition to the driver's seat, M1 category, 120 is the speed. But in a 4-lane and above is 100. Road within municipal limits, please look at this, road within municipal limit 70 kilometers, and other roads, means which would be village roads, would be 70. If someone drives in our villages and cities at 70, imagine what will happen. Therefore, we need to have this control. Now, recognizing this, the government of Goa, I have to say one thing to the Honorable Minister. Speed limits are notified under Section 112 of the Motor Vehicles Act. And it says that, provided that such maximum speed shall in no case exceed the maximum fixed for any motor vehicle or class or description of motor vehicles by the central government by notification of the Gazette. Now, subsection 2, this is important. Why I am saying, the central government made this notification. You need not accept it. You can consider and you can vary, you may put your own, and I will explain where it is, your power. Subsection 2 says, the state government or any authority authorized in this behalf by the state government may, if satisfied is necessary, to restrict the speed of motor vehicles in the interest of public safety or convenience or because of the nature of any road or bridge by notification of official gate and by causing appropriate traffic signs to be placed or erected under section 116 at suitable places, fixes maximum speed limits or maximum speed limits as it thinks fit for motor vehicles or any specified class or description of motor vehicles or for motor vehicles to which a trailer is attached either generally or in particular area. Now, this, though it may be a restriction, because you may say this stretch I will notify, my respectful view is that you can notify speed limits generally because you have to do it by gazette and by putting boards. Now, now strangely, I don't know why, the PWD took upon itself to issue this notification 2023. I'll pass it down to you. It's a notification dated 15 December 2023. And it says it's a policy on imposition of speed limit on roads in the state of Goa as Road Safety Assurance 2023. An introduction. Please, these two paragraphs I will read. The speed limit is the maximum speed at which a vehicle is legally permitted to travel as within a specified area on a certain road or under given conditions. The speed limit on any road is one of the most important and integral part of the road safety. The density of vehicles plying on the roads in the state per population and per square kilometer surpasses national average. The vehicles used, please this, used by tourists visiting the state also adds to the traffic woes. The constant congestion during peak and off-peak hours results in accidents and fatalities. The one of the main reasons of accidents has been identified as over-speeding on all types of roads, which leads to uncontrollable situation, particularly on narrow and curvy village roads, which are more often used by tourists. Speed limits on roads in Goa are an important measure for improving road safety and reducing accidents and fatalities. And then they have an objective. They have quoted the 2018 notification of the central government, and below that they have simply made recommendations. What I am asking you to translate the recommendations by modulating as needed so that you can bring it within the limits which are permissible and safe for Goa. I will pass this to the Honorable Minister, because I am surprised why the Transport Department didn't bring it, but the PWD brought it. Copy kada. Other thing is about seat belts. I believe that seat belts must be compulsory for front and the rear vehicle. I remember there was an accident on the Pune-Bombay highway, and a very top official, I would say that a person of a very high company, high positioned officer of a company died. She was along with somebody else. I think she was driving. And all of them, I think, died in that vehicle. But after that, the central government immediately issued by saying that even rear vehicle passengers should use the seat belts. I don't know what happened. I think they withdrew that. But I think safety is of everybody, not only the front passengers, but even the rear passengers. And all the vehicles today, by Motor Vehicles Act, have to provide seat belts in the front and the back. Otherwise, it will not be passed. So therefore, if it is a mandatory requirement, it's not there for museum piece. It should be allowed for the safety of each passenger in the vehicle. If a vehicle overturns, you never know what happens. Even if it hits, the person from the back will come and hit in the front. Front people will be safe, and if they wear a seat belt, the airbags will come out. But the people at the back will hit and they will suffer big injuries. Another thing I've noticed is that tourists, give me another 10 minutes, I'll finish. Another thing
Honorable member, the allotted time is 15 minutes.
I will adjust it amongst us. Sunroof. There are people, not only tourists, but even many of our Goans feel that when they have a sunroof, you open the sunroof and people stand out and take some fresh air. I think if you have the seat belts enforced, all this will stop. This is a mockery. You can't start standing up and putting your head out like as if you're in a zoo and going on the road. Increasing accidents, we have already mentioned about the speed. Mostly they are tourist vehicles. There is absolutely no alcohol test. Only when some noise is made, the alcohol tests are being made. And I had suggested at one point of time that you should have these alcohol meters and tests being done. outside these pubs and all. We don't mind anybody drinking, but don't drink and drive. That is what I'm saying. So those people who sit on the wheel must have a responsibility and must be conscious that not only themselves they are keeping safe, but people on the road and passerby should not be doing it. Road issues. Bad engineering is one of the things which I have said that technically I don't believe our roads are being built in accordance with the IRC guidelines. The roads have got several faults. Our roads are cracking and our roads are also sinking. And I think these are very high safety measures which have to be taken in the planning and designing and then execution of the work. Because if you don't have this, it's not going to be done. Service roads which are there, though I know it will be a topic of the PWD, but the transport department also has to certify, because you have to give one-way or two-way entries. The service lanes of ours can barely take a one-way carriage. It does not allow two-way. People squeeze in and then people create problems. On the other demand, number 19, industries, trade and commerce. The Honorable Speaker may kindly note that the CAG has wrapped the GIDC, Goa Industrial Development Corporation, on several issues. One is the waiver of transfer fees of 17 crores. It started from 2021 and has been going on. The waiver of transfer fees, these are the words of CAG. Waiver of transfer fees will adversely affect financial result of GIDC. We don't know who were the beneficiaries. We don't know who were in the decision-making process at that time, which I mean to say, those who were going to benefit, were they participating in it? And the board of directors, could they be so blind? Could they be so ignorant? Could they be trying to finish off the corporation? I don't think that these kind of things should be permitted. I think that an FIR needs to be filed against your board of directors. I think the money should be recovered. Invest in Goa 2024. CAG report speaks about it. I'll just say that. Now please look at this, it's very strange, I've never seen this. GIDC decided, this is on 14 January 2024, to organize a one-day event, Invest Goa 2024, in collaboration with CII, IPB, estimate cost of 3 crores, and that was post facto approved on 20th 1, 2024. The event comprised hosting on 29th January 2024. I can't understand when you have an event of such a large scale, where you have nationals, multinationals coming. How did you invite them to come? I don't think they could have taken a ticket and said, I'm coming tomorrow, and attended such a big event. Many people had to come, make arrangements, hotels, flights, but they all came. Everybody seemed to know. And it says here, though the RPF had 76 line items describing the requirement and the venue, catering, branding, the money value was not estimated. Board was requested to approve a lump sum of 3 crores for holding the event without any breakup or indicative cost for every item line. Moreover, several line items were vague and ambiguous, like absence of specification for selection of venue, number of special invitees for gala dinner, need for arranging food for 600 guests for an event with 400 to 500 delegates. This is not in conformity with the GFR Rules 136.1 that mandated preparation of detailed specification estimates before commencement. The RPF was uploaded on the e-tender portal on 16 January 2024 for the event on 29 January. So it was a very hurried one. It was without proper planning, did not allow potential builders to examine, prepare and quote the best rates. This is what I am reading from CAG report. And the copy of the presentation to one whom it was given was not even placed on record to consider the objectivity of evaluation and to make a proper audit. So these are things, and what has been the loss? The loss is 3 crores, including GST component. How do you compensate GIDC for this loss of GST component of 45,76,271? And I believe these kind of faults, your officers and the board of directors of GIDC should be booked. Don't allow these kind of things. This is not singular incident. I will now go to the second one of Miles High. Unsolicited offer from Miles High hotels and towers came for leasing commercial. That means nobody wanted, IDC itself never wanted. Suddenly somebody, they send a proposal and you agree. And it shows how it was manipulated, where one rate was given. of 7,68,440 plus tax. And then finally you said it will be 5,75,000, and then it was quietly increased. There was neither an internal decision, approval for renting of additional office space prior to November 23, nor was notice published issued by GIDC inviting bids for commercial spaces. There was payment of idle rent from January 24 to May 24, despite not taking over the premises, loss of 39,21,000. The monthly rent of the premises was irregularly increased. See, they had quoted 7,68,000, reduced to 5,75,000, and quietly again they brought the same amount of 7,68,000. This is absolute fraud. It is complete criminal act. It's a loss to the GIDC. The expenditure on 77.65 lakhs on interiors, AC furniture, wallpaper, curtains, carpet, CCTV cameras was incurred on quotation basis without following codal procedures. There were no estimates, drawings, measurements, specification requirements, or even local notice inviting from eligible vendors. Award working directly selective vendors was irregular, and payment of 77.65 lakhs was made without recording measurements. I have one question which I say to the Honourable Speaker. If there was no requirement and there is absolutely no specification, can I believe that some of these items went in somebody's house? Please understand what I am saying. I need 4 TVs, I need 4 ACs, I need so many chairs, but nobody specifies, and then suddenly you get a consignment coming and this being paid. And another thing, the lease deed has not yet been registered so far, thereby enabling Miles High to defer, avoid the expenses of registration and stamp duty and cause revenue loss to the government. GIDC, please remember, unless you get a specific exemption under Section 32 of the Stamp Act, you are not going to be able to waive the stamp duty fees. Government is exempt, but not IDC, unless you have exemption. There is a loss, next they pointed loss of GST input credit, just wait, I'll just finish, of 4.26 crores due to non-pursuance with tax fault defaulters. There's GNS purchase which has been done, 1.47 crores without any quality assurance, and loss of GST input of credit of 20.49 lakhs. I think these things which they have shown here are very serious. And then bids which have been below 20%. The CAG points out that if bids have come below 20%, it means your estimates drawn were fully inflated. And it shows that there is a clear connivance in the manipulation for the purpose of the tenders. And you rejected more than 59% of these and caused the loss. I think all these, on each of these, the government needs to book these IDC directors and the officers and ensure that they don't suffer a loss. And last, I will talk on the panchayats. I'll just finish on the panchayats.
The report. There was a special board meeting where each and everything is clarified to the extent we have asked the CAG, this has wrongly been imputed, you have to drop this paragraph, which I can place it on the table of the House for your information.
Demand number 31, Panchayat. The 15th Finance Commission recommended grants to states for local government, disaster management, health, etc. 22-23, it was 128 crores, but we received only 9.6 crores. We are not receiving it. Why? Because there are certain codal procedures required to be followed. And if we don't follow that, like provisional and audited statements not being uploaded, and then giving all these requirements which they are asking, it will have a big effect which we will not get the finances. As far as the district development plan, Article 243Z makes it mandatory to have a district development plan. And these proposals which have been made are not being made into effect. Another thing, Honorable Speaker, every day which we are seeing, Gram Sabhas across the village, across the state are making noise about carrying capacities and also mega projects which are coming along with commercial projects. Our villages are the old traditional villages. We have very narrow kind of roads. We have the kind of demography which will change. We will have complete new kind of a development, and our people will be displaced. We are already suffering with so many shortages of electricity, water and other things. And then when we have these projects, because You have already amended the Panchayat Raj Act that the Panchayat, if it doesn't decide within 30 days, the file itself is taken and given to the BDO, and then finally they will pass it and nothing will happen. And these projects, once the moment they are cleared with the town planning, I believe you should strengthen the panchayats to allow the gram sabhas in respect of mega projects, in respect of these big housing projects and also commercial projects. You can fix the number, I'm not saying small ones, but big ones, so that panchayats and urban bodies can have the right to take a decision so that in their interest they know what is viable and not viable. It is not a case to case, but every matter which comes like this, I think you'll have to bring an amendment to the act to bring it. Nimayit app is what you have got for your employees, but I think that this is the only department which is having this. This virtually monitors the movement of every official of a panchayat. I think that this is something which is again invading the privacy of an individual. And why is that? Because everywhere that person goes, you are being tracked. Even if the person has to go to the BDO or go to the director of panchayats, and suppose he had to go to the director of panchayats and there is a road blockage, like smart city was being dug up, he had to go by a different route. You say, oh, tu kita galo te side in? You're understanding what I'm saying. So every time he has to take permission, he has to go. I don't know whether it's working effectively or it's causing an hindrance. You please examine that.
States in all the departments in those respective states. Panchayat department is going to be the first department to adopt it. Subsequently, it will be adopted by all the department. I'm just informing you.
See,
so it's no way invasion of privacy of anyone. Don't go to that extent. It is clearly streamlining the attendance, bringing more efficiency and making government servants work, Speaker sir.
No, it is clearly monitoring, and then you will select whom you need to fix, whom you will not fix. Because across the board, you know who moves where. But when you want to target a particular individual, it is very easy to follow that person, his movement, and then you fix him. As far as garbage collectors are concerned, there is now a proposal by the government to have them empaneled as per that list of these Goa waste management. But garbage collection is being done by the local panchayat bodies. And if they are being done by local panchayat bodies, they are giving employment to a local person to be a contractor and also locals to get this. Now we have got a list of empaneled people who are coming from UP and other places. I've seen that list in your reply which has been given. And in that empaneled list, Rajasthan and many places, they will bring their own hordes of people to start working here, and our people will have no job. At the end, even the little garbage collection which our people are doing, this will be a gold mine for people to come here and dig for it and make money. And in the end, the panchayats will have to bleed through their nose to pay for these contractors. The ESI and PF will have to be paid because you are the principal employer. So they will have to pay. And panchayats which are struggling to pay for these present garbage collectors will be finished when they have to pay up those garbage collectors. SB and Gramin, you have got this for waste. It's a very good thing, but what I say is, we need to have an assessment of where exactly which panchayat or which body needs these kind of machineries. Don't send 10 machines to everybody and then say, all right, not used, let it be. Servicing. What about the servicing problems which are being faced? It's not that we must immediately replace it and get a new one. Are they servicing? Complaints about servicing, how is being attended? And finally, last is about appeals which are pending. Your director of panchayats, let me say, is trying the best to make people happy by taking up matters not only of hers but also of the additional director. But your additional director had been sick for a very long time. If sick, I would suggest you put someone more efficient and somebody competent who is on the people. Advocates are getting dates and dates. There are matters I have known which are going on for years. Why should this panchayat matters? It's a matter of file an appeal, give notice. It's just one hearing. You have your plans, you have the construction license, or is it there which you can show is legal? That's all. It's not some big argument which has to be made for hours together and days together. These are not interpretation of different rules and things required. It is yes or no. You have it or you don't have it. Why should they take so long? And ex parte stay is granted. and that ex parte stays goes on for 3-4 years. People go up and down, get dates and keep coming, and ex parte stays cannot be continued like this indefinitely, including, I'm talking not only that additional director, but deputy director, BDO, whatever level, please streamline and ask them at least quarterly they should have, nothing monthly to keep them busy filing reports, but at least quarterly they should be able to give you reports of statistics of cases received, cases disposed. You know, this way you will be able to know how is their performance and their output. I'm obliged.
तुम्ही पळयतात GNH.
Enough said! Bringing in the rhythm, what you're feeling is the vibe. About to make a dream and wanna race it to the tribe. Enough said, let's end, so I join